Good morning. Welcome to 365 Days of Richer Living, daily morning reading, meditation, and prayer time. I'm Reverend Rafe Ellis, Senior Minister and Spiritual Leader at Columbia Center for Spiritual Living in Columbia, Maryland. Today is October 3rd. I do not labor. I work for the glory of God and the good of my fellow humans. And our reference quote this morning comes from the 11th chapter of the book of Matthew, verses 28 and 30. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light. Excuse me. So our reading begins. Today, as metaphysicians, we should be clear in our thought as to the difference between labor and work. The word labor implies drudgery, while the word work implies creative activity producing a just and fair profit for all concerned. We are co-workers with God, co-workers with a mind that knows exactly what to do and how to do it. If we cooperate with the indwelling presence of this universal God mind, it makes our routine activities creative and joyous experiences. If we condemn our jobs, our employers, and our fellow workers, the law of cause and effect can only make our tasks heavier. Jesus said to those who disliked their employment that there was a way of working that was easy and a burden that was light. He told them to come unto his way of thinking and assured them that through this new and creative approach, a healthy change would take place in their business world. My work in life is to express God and God's ideas. I do this joyously and lovingly in my home, my business, and all my activities. I have faith that the life, love, and intelligence of spirit sustains me at every instance. Therefore, I cannot be tired, exhausted, or fatigued for within me is the sustaining power of unlimited mind. I work with ease, with accuracy, and with order. I know that through me, God is giving something unusual and valuable. I now release God's mind into the activities of this day. I dedicate and consecrate my thoughts and feelings to the love of God, to the life of God, to the perfect action of infinite mind. And so let's take that into our time of meditation and contemplation. One breath breathing itself. One life living itself. One mind that is absolute consciousness. The quantum field, energy, unformed substance, many, many, many names. And yet it is unnameable. To name it is to limit our idea and experience of it. And yet, we do. And so I recognize in this moment that it is beyond. It's beyond what I call it. It is beyond what my human brain can imagine it to be. It literally is all there is. And so it is everywhere present, form or unformed, and both. Present reality of form and infinite possibility, all together as one. This one, it is eternal. It has no beginning, it has no end, it simply is and has always been and will always be. It is infinite in its that it has no boundaries. It has no limitation. And so having no boundaries, having no circumference, its very center must be everywhere present. Must be. And being the only substance that all creation creates from and lives within, I must be made of it. Individualized, expressed, animated, embodying this vehicle of human form. And what is true of me is true of all. Everything in form, containing the infinite that it is created out of. It can't be any other way. And so being made out of it, containing it, all that it is available to me. Is experienced by me as me. And I recognize in this moment that it is the thought that I have about what I'm experiencing that changes my experience of everything. That my thought is my use of consciousness. That my thought is that movement of consciousness through the law of cause and effect into form, into function, into experience. And so being aware of this, I speak my word, claiming, affirming that I move through this day with acute awareness of the narrative that I am writing about every moment, of the ongoing mental thought narrative that is playing out in the law of cause and effect to be my life, to be my experience of life more accurately. And so I hold myself accountable, not to never have an errant thought, rather to quickly notice when my thoughts are creating what I don't want. I change my thought. I take responsibility. I activate my ability to respond from that God-centeredness, that God substance within me. I live in a state of awakened awareness because I choose. I choose to live in a state where the infinite within me is activated in my use of consciousness. That I am living intentional, purposeful, chosen moments strung together to become this thing I call my life. It is literally God living itself as me. And so I invite, I embrace, I embody, I surrender to a higher idea of life than my human brain has ever conceived of. I invite, I receive, I embody a higher ideal of oneness than I've ever imagined, of prosperity that I've ever imagined, a prosperity that is beyond the limitations of money, property, and prestige, a prosperity that prospers every element of my being, that a prosperousness that gives, a prosperity that knows no taking and only giving as the means of expanding itself. So I give, knowing that human me cannot outgive the God me. And I bring those together mentally, realizing they've always been one and the same. And even as that, I allow myself, I receive my authentic experience, undefended, free of judgment. I just simply go about this day being me. Me as a cell in the body of the whole, never separate. And every individualized expression of the infinite in every form I experience today. I am aware that in the absolute reality of spirit, everything I encounter is simply another me. And and I to it, another you. And I live in that awareness today, in that embrace, in that curiosity, in that acceptance, in that recognition and validation. I speak a word of comfort, a word of care for all that are working in the physical realm of the flood damage. Knowing that divine intelligence is leading the way. The divine sustenance is sustaining beyond what is recommended, what is needed in this physical realm until supplies arrive. That infinite intelligence is operating in the thought processes and strategies to guide those crews in the perfect path to rescue, to serve, to care for. I speak a word of comfort for all those who have lost loved ones, knowing that grief is equivalent to the love. I speak a word that their grief is eased by the grace of memories created, by an internal knowingness of peace. I speak a word of healing and wholeness and peace for the people of Gaza, for the people of Israel. I speak a word of healing and reconciliation in the mind and hearts of Hamas. That there's a recognition that there is no need for power over, for brutality. That whatever depth of pain drives such behavior is brought clear and healed, knowing that the healing in one place heals every place. And so I invite anything that is in my mental construct that finds violence, hatred viable, is moved into my awareness so that I can transform that. Knowing that any thought that I hold contributes to the hurting of the whole. Every thought I heal contributes to the healing of the whole. And so I joyously surrender to doing the creative work of healing. I recognize there is no labor in healing. There is simply a choice to do what is necessary, to shift mentally and allow that mental shift to shift behavior. Grateful, so incredibly grateful to know this law of cause and effect, to see so clearly the path of healing, the path of oneness. To know so clearly how the operation of law operates. And as I know that, I know that my word spoken is the word of the infinite itself, speaking itself into being, and that it's already done. In absolute reality, where now is the only moment, where past, present, and future have no existence. I know that it's already done now. In an infinite reality that is never bound by time and space. So there is no here, there, and everywhere. It just is done. And it is done in the body of the one equally in every cell. So it's done. And my joy, my work is to release every shred of doubt, every nuance of resistance. Let it go. I let it go. I let it go. Knowing that any thought in opposition to truth restricts truth playing itself out in form. So I continuously release, I let go. And I celebrate. I celebrate that it's already done, that I, the individualized I, do not, cannot control how life unfolds. And so I relish the freedom that surrender gives me, the freedom to be, and to allow my being to inform my doing. I say yes to life. I release all limitation, all restriction, all resistance. Ashe. Shalom. Aho. Amen. Amen. And so it is. Namaste.